Well, good morning. It's June 2026 and you've joined us packing for our next adventure. So over the last couple of days we've been putting stuff centrally in the house. Some of it on the table in there, most of it upstairs on the spare bed. And last night we went for a shop at Sainsbury's and we put all the food, well most of the food, into the motorhome. Left a bit for this morning and now it's making the bed and it's getting everything sorted out. You'll obviously see we're on hookup because I've had the fridge on for the last couple of days cooling down. I spent a good while cleaning U-Beak, our motorhome, before we set off, and it comes up really well. Really well. I use that caravan cleaner that comes in a yellow, like 1 litre can, which is really nice. It's a bit of a tight squeeze down our drive, but when we bought the house we kind of planned it in that the motorhome was going to park here. It always was going to park here. In fact, at the very earliest sort of looking at the estate agent, we were discussing the gap between that fence post there and the then to be extension limit to the left here, to make sure the motorhome could get in, and it's got in really nicely. Wendy's in there packing, but she likes to be left alone, so I'm gonna do that. I've been helping. I do the electrics, and yesterday I put all the locations for the overnight stays on a TomTom sat nav. I also planned the route and I've booked all the campsites and other stuff as well. I'm not going to go in there because Wendy's packing, so I'm going to pause it now and get back to you. So let's go inside and have a look around. We haven't done many upgrades since we went on the NC 500, but in there it's chairs, it's the washing line, it's a table, washing bags. We're quite lucky because there's 2 of us in a 6-berth motorhome, and in there, that's my motorhome garage in there. I'll take you in there later. So Wendy's packing in here, and we've recently got some like little hooks because the clothes were jumping off the rail and landing on the floor. So it was all hung up when we set off, and then it was a floor drobe by the time we got somewhere, because you catch something on the back wheels and it flicks up in the air, as you've probably experienced. As I say, it's just packing. So what I did do the other day, I put a chest of drawers in there. Then I went for a test drive and the drawers were opening on their own. So now I've put little hooks there on the left hand side. Just hooking it up, and then we were short of space, drawer space in particular. We always have been. And we got those bars off Temu, and that's where our coats go. Hopefully we won't need them, but you never know. I had to go fixing the heater because the front kept coming off. That's a regular problem. So it took me time and fixed that. What I didn't know is there's batteries for the igniter. I should have done. I should have guessed that, but I didn't know. So I looked when it didn't work, because I test everything like a week before we go. If anything's broken, it gives me time to get to the caravan and motorhome shop to get it fixed, or I can fix it myself. And in this case, I fixed it myself. Good old YouTube. Went on YouTube. Lo and behold, there's 2 batteries in there. Like I say, I should have guessed that. And I changed those, and now it's working fine. In the freezer, like it's been on 2 or 3 days, it's nice and chilled. Got some bacon to go over there. And in the fridge, that's starting to look nice. Obviously you got the beers in there, priorities first, and that'll start to fill up over time. I tested everything. Our funny fussy boiler got a good blowout the other day, and that's working, so I'm apprehensive about that, because you know how fussy it is. You've watched our programme before. I made the bed this morning. That's a sweaty job. It's quite warm outside, and the rest of it I'm just starting to set up. Got provisions under there, more beer, more cider, and my Guinness. I do like Guinness 0.0. Right, I'm going to take you outside now. Coming outside, Wendy? Okay. And then once we've gone outside, say hello, Wendy.
No.
She's not properly woke up yet. End it there, and hopefully catch you on the road. So we said we'd meet us on the road, and this is St Margaret's Bay. We stopped here before we went to Morocco, and it's really picturesque. I mean, look at that as a backdrop, and it's one of these pub stopovers. Look at that, White Cliffs of Dover. And if you ring up the Coast Guard at St Michael's Bay and book a table, they allow you to stay in their huge car park. Now this was full yesterday because it was Sunday, so we did have to wait outside in the public car park, pay and display, just over there, for about an hour and a half. But that's fine because it was rammed and it was lovely weather and everyone sat outside. But now it's all emptied out and we're the last ones to leave, and we should really be off. But I thought I'd get a bit of this first. There's more footage for St Margaret's Bay on our Morocco videos. If you want to sort of give it a bit of a more in-depth recce, then have a look at those videos. And that's the days we set off to go to Morocco. But for now, we shall see you on the road. So here we are on board the ferry. We've actually, sorry about the wind, we've actually done really well. We arrived at the ferry port in good time, because I wasn't quite sure about the, you know, the biometric testing. ChatGPT said it was on hold, been paused, but you're never quite sure, are you? So just in case, we came early and went through the passport thing and the check-in. Let these people take the photographs. And they let us straight through. Really good. I feel the glass is very, very dirty, so you can't see much. But you can see the White Cliffs over there. We're all loaded, good to go, really. Yeah, so allowed us on an early ferry. Basically drove through the port and drove straight on. No queues, didn't even stop in the lines. We were in road 207. Drove straight to the front, waved us on, and on we came. Onward and upward. That means we'll get to the first night a little bit ahead of time. It gives us a bit more time, just in case, because this is the next stop is a wild camp, so it'll give us a bit more time if it doesn't feel right. It allows us to move on and find somewhere else. But until then, see you on the road. So I just thought I'd take a bit more footage because, you know, the glass is really dirty, so we have to do that. As you can see, the ferry port's really quiet. I suppose it's because it's in the morning. There's a huge queue of motorhomes and stuff over there, but none ours. I don't know why. But here we go. I think we're just about to set off. So So we only did 119 miles today, and here we are. We're about 25 miles west of Brussels. We're at a little village called Alphonse. This place is on Park for Night, and actually this is really weird. So when we drove up here today, Wendy said we've stayed here before, we've been here before, and I said no we haven't. You know, this is all new. So it turns out that when we're on the Morocco trip, coming back from the Morocco trip, we stayed here, but I must not have marked it. I just didn't mark it for some reason, which is unusual. So when I came to plan the Bosnia trip, as in all the way down, this seemed like a good place to stop. 119 miles gets us on the road, not too far in case the ferry was late and all that kind of palaver. So we were pulled in here, and Wendy said we've stayed here before, and about 2 or 3 minutes later it dawned on me that yeah, we have. And she recognised, because last time we parked over there and the arse end of the motorhome was dangling over the curb there, and it was kind of difficult to get in and out because it was a step down. But this time we've got our arse end over the grass. Nice, isn't it? So we'll stay here tonight, and then tomorrow it's it's the start of the long journeys. It's 270 miles tomorrow. I mean, to us that's a long journey. To other people, I only go 50 miles an hour because it's an old motorhome, and I like to save the diesel. And at 50 mile an hour, that's the optimum speed to save diesel. She's looking good, isn't she? Yeah, it's a bit of a weird situation today, pulling in here. And we walked down into town that way, down to the bakery, down to the Carrefour, and the pub, obviously, because we like to stop for the pub. Collected some food, I had a burger, and now we're back at the motorhome, and we're gonna watch a bit of TV and then get our heads down, ready for tomorrow. So we'll catch you later. So after the White Cliffs of Dover and the place just outside Brussels, last night we stayed in the Ratsplatz. Now for those of you watching this who've done this before will say, well, that's risky, and it is risky. If you get stuck next to a freezer unit or a fridge unit, that kind of ruins your night, or you just move. But we were kind of lucky. Having said that, last night when we came in here, because it's, you know, all the trucks park up overnight, it was absolutely rammed, absolutely. You know, we went to the last service station, the service station before that, not to stop, but to change drivers, and they were all full. So when I got here and it was almost full, I was thinking, oh shit, we have to move on, find a Park for Night place. But we didn't. We found this place, and actually it was quite quiet. We looked in actually, and the fat arse is sticking out a little bit, but as you follow the road curve round, it's not actually that much. And I pulled it all the way forward to the curb, and we didn't need levelers, and we had a decent night's sleep, which for a Ratsplatz, you know, is definitely risky. It's definitely somewhere you wouldn't normally stop. But I looked at Park for Night and searched for sites, and there wasn't much around here, and this was at the 250 mile point. So at 250 miles after yesterday's experience. So yesterday we got stuck in an hour and a half stau, so an hour and a half queue, and then the motorway was closed, and then we went from 3 lanes to going off the autobahn in a space of 100 meters, which caused absolute carnage. You can imagine a German autobahn closing down halfway through the day with all that traffic going by and being sent onto an exit basically. But unlike the Germans of the past, when we got to the sort of the exit, and then you either turn left or turn right. Usually there was no indication of a diversion, which was unusual. Usually they're really swept up about that kind of stuff, and I don't know what was wrong there, but they're usually really good at that. Anyway, so we pulled over and then got the maps out, found our way around. It was about half an hour to get round because they dug all the autobahn up. And then after we got round, back on the Route 3 and then down to here, down to the rat spot. So we were tired by then. You know, been in the seat for 6 hours. Now for some people that's not long, and I get that. But for me, this is the first time that we're doing over 150 miles a day. We're doing 250 miles a day just to get down to sort of Slovenia, Croatia and Bosnia. And I'm not quite sure I like it, doing all the mileage a day. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I just need to get used to it. Maybe it's just one of those things. So we're going to crack on today, and we're going to stay, sorry, this location here is just outside Frankfurt. And we're going to go down to a place called Deggendorf, and I'll update you there. Well, hello from Deggendorf. Deggendorf is almost at the Austrian border. Another 260 miles today. So in Deggendorf there's a few sites on Park for Night, and this is one of them. It's by a swimming pool, sports leisure centre, and a huge building. It's all surrounded in climbing walls. Jamie would love that, wouldn't he? Yeah, so 260 miles today. Been sharing the driving with Wendy, and that's a great relief. It is a long way to drive. For me, it's a long way to drive. Like I say, for other people it's quite normal, but we're not used to it. So tomorrow it's down to Slovenia. Very exciting. We've not been to Slovenia before, so we're going to go into Austria, through Austria. We're going to fill it with diesel first, because from memory strikes me correct, when we did the Morocco trip and we came back through Europe, the diesel in Austria was eye-wateringly expensive. So we're going to fill up in Deggendorf at an Aldi garage, which we've just wrecked, and then set off across the border into Austria, through Austria into Slovenia, and then stay there for the night. I think it's another 250 miles tomorrow, so quite a stretch. It's been all autobahn work today. We stopped off for lunch in a Ratsplatz and then just kept driving and driving and driving. But like I say, I only go 50 miles an hour, so 80 k's an hour. I think it's enough. It's enough for the fuel consumption as well. Well, this is short and sweet, so enough from Deggendorf. We shall see tomorrow, or possibly tomorrow evening when I get to Slovenia. Bye for now. So I don't usually take any sort of footage as we go on the road. Well, not much anyway, I suppose. Well, not this time anyway. Not yet. But we entered Austria a good couple of hours ago, and Austria, you know, never seems to amaze me. The amount of tunnels we've gone through, tunnel after tunnel after tunnel. And in new news, Wendy's driving. So it's not through not wanting to drive. Wendy's been asking to drive all the time we've had a motorhome. It's just been me, just sort of, you know, wanting to, I don't know, take all the risk, as it were, and drive and just minimise the impact on Wendy, really, because driving a motorhome is difficult, you know. You got the fat arse end, as I call it, springing out all the time every time you make a turn, and you got the whole length and the width and the height and all that kind of stuff, and I'm quite used to that, having driven army trucks for years. You know, it doesn't come naturally, but I tend to remember it, remind myself more frequently. So whilst we're on the autobahns, Wendy's having a good drive, which is great because these last couple of days have you know, taken it out of both of us. 250 miles and 4.5 hours on the road, and I keep telling you, you know, for some people that's nothing, but for us that's quite a lot. We're not used to it. So onward and upward out of Austria. Well, good evening. We are in a place called Trebuje, which is in Slovenia. Never been to Slovenia before. Slovenia. It's quite nice actually. We've only just crossed the border. We've been going through Austria for most of the day. We filled up with water and diesel and emptied the toilet. We've got enough gas for the next couple of days. So we arrived here about half an hour ago. As you can see in the background, that's us set up there, and that's the house called Trebuje, in a little village of Trebuje, just across the border in Slovenia, where diesel is a lot cheaper than Austria. It's 30 cents a litre cheaper, more as you go into Slovenia, as we found out. So the route today was lovely, going through Austria. Over the last couple of days I may have moaned once or twice about the mileage we're doing, and we're just not used to it. We're just not used to going 250, 260 miles a day. Some people are, but we're not. It's usually about 100 to 150. But today was better. We were going through a lot more scenic routes today, through Austrian mountains. So to drive through Austria, you need to buy a vignette. If you're driving a 3.5 ton motorhome, wrong, a 3.5 ton vehicle or under, you get a vignette, and that pays for all the tolls, less for about 7 long tunnels in Austria, including the Brenner Pass and others, where you pay extra. If you're over 3.5 ton, if you buy what's called a go box at the border, and that is a box you put on the dash, and you pay per mile for the use of the toll roads. So over 3.5 ton, no vignette. Under 3.5 ton, vignette. You need a vignette for Austria, and you need a vignette for Slovenia. No other countries that we're going through we need a vignette for, which was France. You need a critère. If you're going into the cities in France, you need a critère, but no vignette. So France, what have we done so far? France, Belgium, Germany, Austria, then we're going to Slovenia, and you don't need a vignette for Bosnia, Herzegovina. So we're going to have some dinner now. Wendy's just doing some potato salad in the back there, and then we get our heads down. Not so tired today, which is a big relief, because I was getting concerned. You know, the cumulative miles. Wendy drove for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours today, which was a hell of a relief actually. If I'm honest, she has been asking to drive for a long time, but it's just been me nervous about, you know, the way the back end swings out, and just the weight of it, and the way it rocks about when heavy vehicles go by. I'm just kind of protecting her, I suppose, but it got to the point where I needed her to drive, because I was just really tired, you know. So she's been driving a couple of hours today, and I drove a couple of hours on the side roads getting down here. And tomorrow it's another 160 miles, but it's about 3.5 hours again, because it's a lot of the side roads. And tomorrow we're in Croatia, near the Kravik waterfalls, and obviously I'll do some filming when I get down there. But we're staying at a place called Camp Bear, which is a 5-minute, 10-minute taxi drive from the waterfalls. It's the closest one I could get. So there's actually one closer, but it's 68 euros a night, whereas the Camp Bear is 30 euros a night. Stay 2 nights there, so we've got a non-travel day, and then we move on after that. But as far as Slovenia is concerned, this is our Slovenia fix, and it's the first time I've been here, like I said. we're just over the border. We're not really in deepest, darkest Slovenia. Literally just over the border. It's a lovely place, nice and quiet. It's actually deserted. I did try and phone this girl, so I booked in before we left the UK by emails. And there's a little diversion because one of the bridges in the village is closed off. So followed all the directions, got here, phoned her up, phoned once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then she started to, you know, hang up the phone. So it's not as if we're gate crashed and wild camped here in someone's lawn. We are actually booked in, but we've just not been able to speak to anyone on arrival, as it were. So we set up, if we've got to move, we've got to move. I'll just turn the gas off, we'll pack everything up and then we'll move. Which would be a shame because we're flat and still got the Tuesday boiler. But yeah, we're making it work. Right, I'm going to go now. I'm going to get some dinner and then probably have a game of dominoes afterwards and see how that goes. But from here, from Trebishy in Slovenia, catch you on the road.